Hello, 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 everyone. Hello, YouTubers. It's Anonymous T. Hope you're having an amazing day today. So today we're talking love and marriage, Huntsville. Today we are talking Phonics Unhooked, you guys, going live once again. She was selling her Shona food and apparently was in the projects and was allegedly sold out, even though she kept saying she sold out. And so I think she was confused with what she meant by sold out. That she was not selling out. I think she meant to say that her food sold out, but nonetheless, it was a hot mess, you guys. And as you know, I can only do a couple of moments, and I saw it actually on Empress Radio's page. So I'll link in the description box if you guys have like however long that was to sit through it. I did a lot of fast forwarding because I just don't have the time, you guys. I do not have the time to sit through the foolishness. But what I wanted to address were a couple of things that stood out to me, which is why I didn't need to listen to the entire video. Number one, the energy is completely different, you guys. The energy is completely different from Phonics Unhooked. She is completely mellowed out. She has no energy, you guys. She doesn't have all of this anger and this vitriol and all of this stuff that was taking place before, when there were the death threats, when there were the threats of the gun violence, when there were the nasty things that were being said about Melody Cherie and her kids. None of that, you guys. None of that. Number two, now Phonics Unhooked is saying if anybody has anything negative to say about her, that they have something negative to say about God. Wait. Wait a second. So here's my thing. So were you being negative about God when you threatened to kill Melody Cherie and Martell Holt? Were you being negative about God when you threatened gun violence? When you threatened to kill these people because you didn't like how things were going in terms of the breakdown of the friendship between Melody Cherie and your daughter? Were you insulting God then? Or is it only an insult to God if people have something to criticize and critique you about? I just want to make sure that we are keeping the same energy and that we are not being hypocrites, you guys. That we're not being hypocrites, and you want to invoke God only when you are being held accountable and there's petitions to get you off the show. There's blackout hashtags trending because they're not going to watch if you're on the show still. So now all of a sudden, if people have something negative to say, they have something negative to say about God. But you were not thinking about God. You were not thinking about being a Christian when you were threatening violence, when you were talking about toddlers, when you were questioning the paternity of a toddler. Make it make sense, you guys. And this is what I mean. This is what I can't stand, is when people think it's okay to pop off at the mouth, cuss people out, and say all these things, but then when somebody comes down hard on you, and we don't know what that something is, you guys. We don't know if there was papers sent, if she has a cease and desist, if there's a gag order against her, if she's really been removed from the show and Martell was telling the truth, and, you know, the Scots were trolling. We don't know what happened. But somebody clearly talked to her, whether it was somebody at Discovery, where somebody was on, whether it was Carlos King. Somebody had a conversation with her that her antics on social media were too far. And her behavior last weekend at the Memorial Day weekend event was too far. And so now all of a sudden she's trying to play victim, and she's trying to pretend that she's been this perfect person this entire time. She's been nice to all these people this entire time. Meanwhile, she is also invoking in the same live about hating people. If you're a Christian, you don't hate people. If you believe in God, you don't hate people. God loves everybody. We all are sinners, you guys. For those of you who are Christians, there's no such thing as hating people. Now, you can dislike decisions that people, have made. You can dislike some of the ways people are sinning and things of that nature, but you are taught to forgive, you guys. If you are truly a Christian, and you read your Bible, you are taught to forgive. So this whole thing about talking about hating and the haters, that's not Christian talk. That's not godly talk, Phonics Unhooked. That's not it. So again, and then one of the most weird things that took place, you guys, was at some point during the live, she kept, asking the fans to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville. She kept telling them to watch the episode, but it wasn't even the begging, you guys, because I already did a video on that she had begged earlier on her way to Huntsville. It was the fact that she had made this comment. She made some comment that some of her supporters were saying that they weren't going to watch the show if she, wasn't on the show anymore. But then she also mentioned about how the people aren't going to watch the show if she's still on there. So she's very much familiar with the petition. She's very much familiar with the blackout for, Phonics Unhooked and everything else. But she made this comment, you guys, to watch Love and Marriage Huntsville, whether she is on the show or not. And I found that peculiar because I'm like, are you confirming that you were fired from the show? Are you confirming that your time on the show in future episodes is going to be diminished? Are you confirming that you're not going to be seen as much anymore moving forward? What did you mean by whether or not you're on the show? Because that would incline me to believe that Martell was telling the truth. That you really were, quote, off the show. And that you still want people to support the show whether you were on it or not because your daughter is on there. And you still want your daughter to get a check. So there is that. But I want to address this thing with some of these people, some of these reality stars and these celebrities, when they get upset if you don't suck up to them, when they get upset if you criticize them or critique them or have an opinion that's not sucking up to them and, begging for their attention, begging, saying all these nice things, even if they're saying and doing nasty and disgusting things, even if they're making death threats to people, you're still kissing their behinds. It's not hate. I want to make that clear. It's nothing personal. And I think that's where people need to understand that there's a line. We are here. We are allowed to have our own opinions. We do not have to like everybody that you like. But it's not personal. Our critiques is strictly based on how you conduct yourself on the show and how you conduct yourself outside of the show. And for some reason, people get it misconstrued that if you're critiquing somebody's behavior, that you hate them and you have all this malicious intent to take them down or to, quote, get revenge on them. No. No. This is an entertainment channel, you guys. This is an entertainment channel where we react to what is going on in the world of celebrity news and gossip, sports news and gossip, and reality news and gossip, you guys. But it's not personal. It's not personal, you guys. Whether you are, popular on a TV show or you're not is irrelevant to me. Whether you're an A-lister or a D-lister is irrelevant to me, you guys. Here's the thing. The issue at hand is addressing the issues of threatening somebody's life, threatening gun violence when we are in the midst of a total warpath of people shooting up churches, shooting up elementary schools, shooting up people in hospitals, shooting up people in subways. So it was not okay. It was not intelligent to do a live having so much hate and vitriol for a person that is responsible for giving you an opportunity for this show, for giving you an opportunity to be a reality star, to give you the opportunity to receive a check, and by extension of that, Carlos King giving you an opportunity on his night show. For you to turn around and completely insult and bite the hand that feeds you, and because you don't like the relationship that your daughter no longer has with her, you think that going extra hard and making these malicious attacks and threats of violence is okay? But if somebody calls you out for that, they quote hate you? No. No. We want you held accountable for your behavior. There's a difference. And that's what some of these reality stars need to understand, you guys, is it's not a popularity contest. And I think that's where people get misconstrued, is they get a few shines on these reality shows, and then their head starts to get big, and then they start to think that they're bigger than the show. So then they want to go on Instagram Live every day, and they want to talk mess about their co-stars and think that there's going to be no consequences. And so then they get fired up by their fans, and they keep going on lives again and saying more reckless things. And again, since the person that they're talking about or people they're talking about don't engage, don't respond, they keep going, and they keep going lower and lower with the digs and the insults, to the point that the only way people have left to respond is with getting into a fight. The only left that is to respond is threatening gun violence and threatening to kill people, because you have no other way as an adult to handle your issues. So that's what people are upset about. That is not Black excellence. That is not representative of what people tuned into Love and Marriage Huntsville for. We're not tuning in to see people fighting. We're not tuning in to see people threatening somebody with a gun. We're not watching the show so that grown adults who are grandmothers are going after other people's children who are toddlers. Make it make sense, you guys. Because how would you feel if somebody did that to you? And that's what I want to understand. It's like, why is it okay to go after the Holts and go after the Holt's children, but if it's the same energy towards the Scotts, they send you a cease and desist? So why is it okay that, you can just keep poking the bear and keep going after the Holts, keep insulting Melody Cherie, keep insulting the children, and making them the scapegoat for everything? But it's okay for you to egg on the foolishness. It's okay for you to start fights with people. It's okay for you to threaten people with violence. And if we call it out, if there's petitions to have you removed from the show, if there are hashtag blackout, for Phonics Unhooked on Saturdays because of your behavior, now all of a sudden it's quote haters and it's quote people who hate you and people who hate God. No. You weren't thinking about God when you made those threats. You weren't thinking about God when you were coming for Melody and trying to question the paternity of your youngest child and trying to throw Sugar Mama into a mess that had nothing to do with her. So it's just funny to me that when reality hits of, either you potentially losing your job or you did lose your job or whatever the case may be, because clearly somebody spoke to you, because you don't have that same energy anymore where you're just saying anything reckless now. But you still want the attention. You still want people to talk about you. So therefore you throw out these little things to get people going. But still in these lives, you have yet to hold yourself accountable. And that's the biggest takeaway for me, is you're so concerned about who likes you, who doesn't like you, who has something nice to say about you, who doesn't have something nice to say about you. And what you fail to realize is sometimes some of these people who are nice to you and sucking up to you don't like you either. But if they see an opportunity to interact with you or to get some tea with you or whatever the case may be, they'll pretend to be your friend. So my question to you is, do you like people who are fake? that are sucking up to you to try to get tea, to try to get you to spill stuff? Or do you appreciate people who are going to keep it a buck with you and who are going to call you out if they feel that there's something that you did that was wrong? Because I don't know about you, but if somebody is continuing to suck up to me and I know I just threatened violence against people and threatened to kill people, I would question their morals and their sanity and what is going on with them. Because you should have been apologized. There should have been a public apology. There should have been, hey, I took things too far when I threatened gun violence, especially what's going on in the world. I took things too far questioning the paternity of a toddler. I took things too far by saying X, Y, and Z about the Holts. The same Holts who provided me this opportunity to get on the show and receive a check. I took things too far. I take responsibility. That's what a Christian does. That's what somebody who is godly does. They recognize, hey, after taking a step back, I went too far. I shouldn't have said those things. I shouldn't have done those things. But somebody who still wants to justify the point, somebody who doesn't want to hold themselves accountable, somebody who still wants to fuel negativity and fuel hatred and fuel vitriol and everything else and have their fans go after other people, that's not somebody who's learned their lesson. That's somebody who's upset that they can't go hard the same way that they used to at people. And so now they're blaming, quote, the haters instead of taking accountability for themselves. And this is where Tisha gets it from. This is why Tisha never holds Marceau accountable. This is why she has her mom fight her battles. This is why she has her family fight her battles. This is why she blames the Holts for everything wrong in her marriage. This is why she says everybody else is trying to destroy her marriage, except for the husband who allegedly is hooking up with her stylists and her hairdressers and her cousins right under her nose. And she continues to look the other way, but also copies everything that they're doing in terms of their style, in terms of becoming an AKA, and everything else and the like, you guys. This is exactly where Tisha gets it from. I'm never going to hold myself accountable. I'm never going to apologize. Whatever I say or do is right, no matter how far it goes. And if you don't like it, you're a problem. That's not reality, you guys. That's not reality in this world. And that is how you create people who think that they can get away with anything, who think that they're untouchable, who think that the rules do not apply to them. And then when reality hits, when petitions hit, when fans go viral for wanting you gone, and by extension now wanting your daughter and her husband gone, and start having trending hashtags to black out Saturday nights until you're removed from the show, now all of a sudden you want to, pretend everything's kumbaya. No. Until there is a formal apology, the foot's going to stay on the neck. 10 toes down. We can't excuse reckless behavior and death threats. We can't do that. We're better than that. Come on now. And like I said, if you're a Christian, like you're claiming, if you're truly godly, you would have been apologized. And you would have been taking yourself accountable for your actions and understood that you went too far. And that it's one thing that you no longer are cool with or you no longer get along with somebody, but it's another when you're threatening their lives and you're threatening the lives of their kids and the safety and well-being of others. That's too far. And until that's addressed, we're going to continue to bring it up. And it's not because of, quote, haters. So that's the thing. It's not personal. That's the whole thing. It's not personal. We are here to react to your behavior on a reality show and by extension, your behavior on social media because of the reality show. So if you don't like what people are saying, why won't your behavior change? And now you're semi having a change behavior But it's only because somebody talked to you, clearly. Somebody spoke to you, because you're very low energy now. So clearly somebody said something to where you don't have the same energy you had last week. And that's pretty clear. And I find it funny that you want to talk about the haters. You still haven't addressed Stormy coming for your food and that critique where she went hard in the paint and basically said none of your food was good. And you still don't have energy for Dr. Heavenly, who said your daughter was weak. Where's that? See, this is the thing. You can't pick and choose of who you think are haters, or pick and choose people that you want to go after. If everybody is saying similar things, if everybody is saying similar negative things, why don't you have the same energy for those people, but you want to try it with other people? That tells me everything I need to know. That you're not going to mess with people that you perceive to be successful, that you perceive to have a certain amount of money, but you're going to go after other people that you feel that you can talk that way to. And that tells me everything I need to know. So there is that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What do you guys think of Phonics Unhooked saying that, whether or not she's on the show, to still tune in to Love and Marriage Huntsville? Because I found that a little spooky. And why she still is going on live telling people to watch the show. Only because of the blackout and the 2 viral petitions, and I'm sure there's more. But it's funny now that it's clear somebody got to her, somebody spoke to her. Again, we don't know if it's a cease and desist. We don't know if it's a gag order. We don't know if Carlos King called her. We don't know if it was, Discovery who called her or Owen who called her, but somebody called her because she's not saying all that vitriol she was saying before. So there is that, but she still will not hold herself accountable. And that's more disappointing, you guys. For some reason, people think you're weak if you take accountability for yourself. It actually shows that you're a human being. It actually shows that you have guts, that you have courage, that you have humbled yourself to know that your behavior was not okay. So there is that. But let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.